There we go. Hi, everybody. Um, don't get used to this many videos, please. I'm pretty sure this is, this is Sky. Hi. I should probably start saying this at the beginning too. Sometimes pronouns are they. Um, it's selectively other things for other selective people, but that's probably because I've been non-binary like forever. So I'm used to meeting people sometimes that I'm like, no, this works better with you. And no, this works better with you. I've had people that I've known or been with or whatever that I've been like 100% hard femme with. I've known people that have basically only known me in like a more butch mode, like right now, or as BB likes to put it, queer masculine. Um, I've had people that I've been like so like just non-gendered or whatever the fuck is going on right now that like it just really depends on the person. Anyways, so normally I would not be posting this many videos, but I'm off today. I see clients Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then Fridays I do paperwork. However, I'm feeling like shit today, which is, you know, me and health issues. It's always a thing. Not anything that work caused or could have changed. Running around last night I don't think made much of a difference actually, because I lost my new work phone and then found it again. I actually have to upload videos to my work Instagram of the pups doing their things yesterday because they were all, that's what I do as part of my job is I take videos. You can go on, if you look up Mantra Pet on Instagram, that's mine. That's my company. I need to upload a video of this dog that I work with, this English Bulldog puppy, working on looking at and going up to the camera when told, and he was doing great because he always does great. A beagle that I work with that has come a long, long way. He used to be completely phobic about everything, and he's still phobic, but he's much more tolerant, and he had a really good day yesterday. Working with this, excuse me, little Chi mix puppy. I'm wondering what she's gonna look like when she gets older because she's at that point where like she's starting to get her teenager legs, so it's just like, are you just a tall like Chi-Chi, or are you like, the thing is like unless you're like looking at like apple or deer head chihuahuas, your doe head or whatever, typically they all have like, it's like pitties, they all have mutt going on somewhere, especially if they're rescues and she's a rescue. And I'm like, are you just going to be like a Chi-Chi thing, or are you going to be like a Chi-Chi Jack Russell? Like the rest, every dog on the planet is brilliant. I can't think of the last time I've met a dog that isn't brilliant. Even if they're like dumb or act dumb, they're just playing you and being like, I don't know anything, do it for me. But she's a tenacious little thing. Anyways, I'm not going to talk too much about clients on here, even though I know everybody loves animals, so, or most people do. That said, most people, when they're like, yeah, I don't like dogs, and then they see me going around town working, and they see whatever dog I have with me, they're always like, well, I'm like, yeah, you don't like dogs. That's just like everyone that I ever talked to about my dog Mudra, who's on timeout. Now that I've said his name, he might get excited. No, he's doing good. Okay. He gets extra revved up on days where I'm sick, because he has high empathy, so he alerts me if I'm not feeling well or getting manic or whatever. But the problem is he sometimes, when I'm feeling really bad, gets super needy, and everything else you could possibly give him to do, he's just like, or even just him going and settling on his own. Usually he can do that on his own, but he cannot sometimes when I'm really not feeling good. So he gets downtime in his crate, so he actually relaxes and takes a nap, because otherwise he will pace and worry about me and then upset himself, which used to be a problem he had way back in the day when I first got him, because when I got him, and I rescued him from the shelter that I was a trainer at, he was a lunatic. We're pretty sure he's like a border collie Sheltie Papillon. He acts like a multiple herding mix, especially like a mini multi herding mix. He's about 20 pounds. I would never ever want anyone to ever try to breed something like him again. Like, this was the worst idea somebody could have ever done. He looks like a stuffed animal. He's stinking adorable, but like his anxiety levels and how fast his brain was going when I first got him, and I got him probably when he was about 3. He was a mess. Like, you couldn't touch him, you couldn't pet him, he wouldn't trust you, he wouldn't go to the bathroom anywhere near you, so like walks were pain. And thankfully I was down in the country for a little while during that, so I could just put him on like a long line and just give him a lot of space, but it still took a while. I know I keep looking over here, but anyways, but it took like, I work with everything, but I specifically work a lot with animals that have phobia problems, anxiety issues, etc., etc. And I do so much behavior and emotional modification, and then medication also does happen. I always go to a vet that I know, or I recommend somebody to a vet that I know. I'm working towards my IABC, which is International Animal Behavioral Counselor. Right now I'm just normal behavioral counselor with CPDT, KA. Plenty of you probably have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. Basically, like, if you ever go to somebody that is a trainer for anything, make sure they're certified. If they're not certified, please don't go to them. And if they're not certified, like, find out why, please. Because, like, you've got people like Caesar Milan running around and, like, ruining animals. And I'm not joking when I say that. Like, do the research. Like, he does a lot of great things. He does a lot of terrible, horrible things, though, which are just, like his alpha thing that he does got coined in, like, the 1930s, 1940s. And then the same guy that coined it basically was like, that's not what I meant, guys. You screwed this up. And in the 60s, or like, I think it was the 60s, was like, stop. I'm debunking my own thing because you guys are incapable of understanding what I'm saying. And I'm not going to go into that on here because I'll be doing this all day. Anyways, Moody, like, he went through a lot of behavioral work. He had to be on Prozac for about 1.5 years, which I held off on for a while before putting him on Prozac. And I have no problem with putting a dog on Prozac if they need it, but because he was my dog, I held off a little bit more. But it was bad. Like, the vets and the people that I've always worked with have seen massive amounts of dogs with issues. Like, I've worked with so many animals that are like animals that a lot of other trainers may never see in their life. And that's not me tooting my own horn. I've just done this for a while. And I specifically, like, volunteer at places that have really tough cases. I work at places that have really tough cases, and that's why I now do this on my own now. And still donate hours to shelters and stuff like that, and pro bono to people. But anyways, so he ended up going on Prozac. He came off of his Prozac about 1.5 years ago, and he's doing really good. But he's, you know, he still has his moments. He's been through a lot, and he's got the genetics he does. You don't put all those things together. But anyways, and I shouldn't be stopping myself from talking about these things on here. I don't want to get derailed too much, but I do want this channel to be all the things. But so I came on here to be like, so because I've been home laying on the bed, which is up like a couch right now. I love our futon, but I'll be very happy when we get a new mattress. We gave our old mattress to a friend and traded for this one because it was easier to move up from down south because we were down in Virginia for like 6 or 7 years. And then I found this futon for him, because I do that. Like, everything in this apartment, if it's not art supplies, we probably haven't paid for it because we find it and fix it and whatever. But so I worked on some dolls today, and I wanted to. They're still works in progress, obviously. And I've been watching doll videos throughout the day and some other videos and stuff. It's just nice sometimes to just put that on in the background when I'm laid out, which is often enough, sadly. But I'm just very amused with myself because, as usual, so like, sometime I'll post more artwork besides the stuff that's behind me, and this is a mix of BB's and mine and stuff. All of it, I think, for the most part, is unfinished except for Billy right there, and BB did that. BB does does amazing stuff. I can't wait to see Billy as a ball jointed doll. Like, I will, like, scream. Because, like, Billy basically just is one anyways. That's Billy's aesthetic that Billy draws in. So, and this Billy is not Billy Bones, who's BB that I always talk about. It's just they both share the same name thing, but Billy is one of Billy Bones's people. And that's Jack over there. That's also by BB. All those in the corner are by BB. That one up there is mine. That one's mine. I like how I'm pointing to my head right now. That one right behind me is mine. That's BB's. That's mine. That's mine. That's mine of Asha that's getting started. There's paintings all over the damn place, and everything else. But, so I amused myself because I was like, yeah, so to start learning how to do face-ups, I'm just going to do some simple face-ups. I don't think I'm capable of painting anything simply. Like, people that used to watch my artwork, I used to post art way back in the day under the name of Push Tiber. This is back in, like, early 2000. Very early 2000. I think I stopped in, like, 2005 for a while. I can't remember the amount of times I tried coming back online, and I was just like, fuck it. It was just because there was too much drama. I couldn't. I was involved in, like, the queer, cyberpunky, glam fur. Yeah, I'm one of those. So I saw all that nonsense go down. I was absolutely part of that nonsense a lot of time. I used to be such a dick. And I try not to be now. I have a very big mouth. It was much worse back then. But anyway, you're fine, Muds. But, so I did I started working on a bunch of faces. I think I'll start off with Mishi. So, I don't even know if it's going to show well. Yeah, it is. Mishi's is getting started. There's so much leopard print spectrum going on. The pupils are starting to get worked on. I'm trying to figure out if they're just going to be more deer goatish pupils, or if they're actually going to end up being the infinity symbol, which tends to go on a lot of my Mashipa shoes and Baphometic things and deer god stuff and all that, because God knows that's endless. But yeah, so I'm enjoying how it's going. It's a lot of fun. I'll have a lot of fun rooting in all of this. I don't know. I might do like face up back here to color it like it's an undercut. At least some of it. I think that would make sense, but we'll find out. I'm really appreciating the fact that now that I've been working on this, it makes you really realize how off sculpts really are, which is good for me with the amount that I'm sculpting with Prue over there, who I'm not going to show off right now because the paper clay on the thing that I'm trying to try out, finally tried. And I have to sand and cut and do all these things to see if it actually works. And if not, and then I just have to chop it off. And then, you know, a day and a half of doing things will not go down the drain because I will have learned from it, but I will have one of those moments where I'm sure every other sculptor out there, and I'm sure I'm sure tons of people that do face-ups also go like this, of just being like, fuck, it might throw it out the window. That will probably be me. I keep thinking I'm past that point, except for when I have to deal with the arms and the feet eventually, because the legs are almost all the way done, and I'm like, I loved sculpting them, but I've hated sculpting them, but I've loved it. But yeah, but like you can kind of see like his cheeks are nowhere near the same size or width, or they don't even turn the same way. Like his ears aren't the same, like his nose is off. And yes, this is a Cabbage Patch doll from 1980 something, so he wasn't expensive. I mean, back in the day, obviously, like these things caused riots, but like, which is crazy to me. But like, it's just nice. It's a nice reminder for me because like, yeah, with all the sculpts I've been looking at and stuff like that for ball jointed dolls, I'm just like, everybody's such a perfectionist. God knows I am, me and my OCD, but it's just like, I'm gonna put him over here. It's nice to just see imperfections and remember that those are important. I'm trying to decide, wait, where is, got one of you. Did he fall or is he hiding? All right, fine. So here's the corn. She's coming along. I know it looks really splotchy right now, but that's because there's so much layering on this coloring going on, because we're having a lot of like waves that are slowly moving into sunset / nighttime. You can't really see. Well, actually, let's see oranges on the other side because I'm stupid. So this is more of dawn, or it could go the other way, going to nighttime scape, and then dawn or dusk, whichever. This imperfection, I mean, it's a Monster High, so like I can't. This imperfection came on it, and I was gonna sand it off, and I was like, I'm gonna leave it, and then it turned into like this cloud thing, which is great. But she's getting all this going on. This is just like my iPad, so of course the camera's not gonna be so. That's another thing. I don't tend to edit anything, and everything in this too is backwards because it's on the selfie cam. The reason for that is because with my nerve damage, the less button pressing I have to do, the better, even if it's just like pressing something to upload it from a program. It's still more on my arms than just pressing this little button right here. I do not know. Oh, there he is. Sorry. And now I'm going to finish. I got one of those little My Little Pony Echoing Girl mini things a couple weeks ago. I posted it on my Instagram, and so I brought it home, and I made it this cool little wig and stuff like that. This like pompadour thing with like these like long sideburn braid things. I love it. That's also on the Instagram. I have to fix it up a little bit, but like, so I removed it, and it's still safe and everything. The glue's keeping it in the shape it should be. And then I decided to start face-upping this little shit. Excuse my language, I curse a lot. That's never going to change. I'm not even going to try. Like, I don't see the point. Sorry, I know some kids may watch this someday. Sorry, kids. I'm sure you've heard much worse from besides me, so I'm not too worried about it. That's it. This little fucker. He's such a little asshole. I've never worked on something besides some drawings before where while working on it, all you hear is just like screaming of just annoying nonsense. It's not nonsense. Like, he makes perfect sense. It, they, whatever. I don't think they care. But so they said their name a couple weeks ago when I did the whole thing on them, was Sugar Pixel, and they've just been screaming glitch all day, and their face up slowly is getting very glitchy, and it makes the eyes look so screwed up, and I'm like, I'm so mad about this, because it's two sets of eye outlines. And I have to add a lot more white for that to be noticeable, and yada yada. Once again, like, these are just getting worked on. I just started these. He's got like 2 sets of eyebrows. He's got like, it's going to be like blue pixelation and purple pixelation coming in from the sides of its face. Like, I'm not a fan of how the mouth is turning out, but seemingly after I actually finish this, I seemingly, from what I can tell, am going to be actually making it little teeth and like a little tongue that sticks out. This thing is a jerk. Like, firstly, this is a tiny ass head, and it's not soft. It's just plastic. So it's not easy to work on, and like, I have shaky hands naturally, and like, on top of that, the fact that this thing is like, I want to have multiple faces on at once, I'm just like, I'm doing it, but I just wanted to do some easy face-ups. That's all I wanted, and I don't get to have that. I don't get to have that in my life. Like, Mishi's the easiest thing, and there's still a ton to go. And then on top of that, I mean, when the face-up's done, I still have to make horns and, like, do all this rerouting, and nothing's ever simple. So lastly, before I get off of this, watch more things, add more stuff to those faces. Oh, and so the, me and BB haven't been using Mr. Super Clean as of yet. We've been using, I brought it up to somebody else. Something else. I'll find out what the name of it is. It's not on here. I'll look later. I'll like post in the description, I guess, or something if I remember to. And if not, you guys will hear from me later. But it's working really well. It's a low odor spray. The brand starts with a K. The acetone in it is like less than 2%. He tested it first on his Frankie Monster High that he's been doing, which is coming out gorgeous. I love this thing. And it did fine because I was not going to put that on Mishi's 1983 head that I have so much emotional investment in just because of everything about it. I was not going to put that on there before knowing like how it was going to be, and on top of that, because his face is a pain in the ass to scrub. But it came out fine, and these have not been like, they don't feel tacky or anything. Like, I really like it has a very slight texture to it, and I like that because for me it's more like the fact that, you know, skin has texture. And my tools and stuff have liked it more. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. So I've been like, here's the thing. I've been watching ball joint doll stuff for like well over a decade. I think I started in like 2002. Because I was one of those live journal kids that paid attention to everything. And so I've been looking at all these sculpts to look for on the secondhand market when the Black Lavar head gets here, which I'm pretty sure is going to end up being K. And we'll see, because I could be very wrong. But like everything is just screaming K lately. Like I've been like perusing through these things, and there's been little like blonde and red haired like femme things with like greenish minty tinted skin and like bunny things, and it's just it. And then I brought it up to my friend Adrian, and like we were reminiscing about like old school, like my old school writing, old school drawing stuff, and just like laughing about it, and me being like, all I can think of now is Freckle from that show that I suddenly can't remember the name of, because K was a Freckle well before Freckle like was on YouTube. K is just so genderqueer and was born assigned male at birth and transitioned probably like in their like 20s, and thought that like transitioning like to like, you know, like perceived as female, because they were always perceived as like female all the time already, or just a very like queer all over the place dude. I wouldn't even say dude. I've never seen somebody call Kaiser was their name back in the day. I've never seen somebody call Kaiser dude in their life. But like I remember one time forever ago, and this is the thing me and Adrian were joking about, and people would come up to me that like had met me through art stuff and would be like, you know, that time you wrote about Kaiser being on like their fire escape, drinking from like a bottle of wine and playing Milkshake as loud as possible? And I was like, yes I do. And they'd be like, that's my most memorable moment. I feel like that's everybody's most memorable moment, because that is the epitome in a lot of ways of K. K is just like a I don't give a fuck person, and I will really enjoy however K ends up shelling themselves. I will enjoy seeing that very, very much. But so I've been looking at bodies, and Sarah suggested one that I actually already liked a lot because I had seen it a while ago, from, and this is going on for a while as in the video, but who cares, from Danielle, Sighthound lady, who I love the stuff of. I love their stories. I love what they do with their dolls. I love the clothes that they make. I like if they made pants and clothes, especially the pants, like the way, like if some designer made those and they didn't cost a shit ton of money, you can believe I'd be wearing those things. Like they look great. But and the flower crowns, but then again, I make flower crowns, so I really appreciate that. But anyways, it's the doll Pams. I know that, oh wait, not Danielle, Jessica? I've been watching too many people today, I apologize. Anyways, Sighthound lady, had and I'm terrible with names, so once again I apologize. Tie Down Lady had two doll Pams, the normal size ones, and I'm gonna have to get a tiny. And so Sarah suggested the doll Pam, and that's one I'm looking at. The whole thing is the body type that I like, which is the reason why I'm sculpting the one that I am, which is still bigger bodied than the ones that I typically like, because I like them a lot of times bigger bodied, but K fits kind of a slightly smaller, bigger body. And so the doll Pams fit that. There was a bunch of other ones that I saw today, and of course now I can't remember what they are. So give me 1 second, and I will see if this will pop up. Hold on, because I have lists when it comes to things, because my memory is shit, as you just saw with me mistaking somebody's name. That's going to happen a lot, guys. I apologize. I tell you right now. I can't retain a lot of things in my head. I retain too much because of work and behavioral studies and decall stuff already. Like people's names, I never do well, so you will probably have me calling you your handle a lot of the time, if I can even remember that. No offense. I'm trying. I promise. I've also been like hit in the head too many times in my life, so I don't remember things well. Also too much drinking at too young of an age, and I don't even mean fun drinking. I mean like I was that kid that would go off in the woods at like 13 and get drunk with a book and skip school. That was me. It's a miracle I graduated high school. So the Magic Mirror EOSD sizes I really like. The Acellas are the Depths dolls I like a lot, obviously not the mermaids. Thing is, those are all from also very teeny tiny companies, or from individual sculptors who I would not want to see charge less than like $500, $600 something dollars. But that means that these bodies that are not separate from their heads are like $500, $600. And I'm like, I can't do that. I cannot do that anytime soon in my lifetime. Who knows? Maybe I'll be proven wrong. That would be nice, because then I could be like, oh, I can just, throw $500 at a doll. Great. And I'm sure if I took on more clients, I probably could pull that off. But I'm not out to burn myself out and kill myself with work. I'm out to do the exact amount of work I know I can do, and then otherwise try to have a life sometimes, which is typically arting and doing this stuff. But anyways, so I'm not too worried about the body. It'll happen whenever it happens. I had this surge when I found out about winning the head, that I was just like, oh my fucking god, I'm gonna have to get a body for it immediately, blah 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 blah. I can't leave it like bodiless. Yes, I can, and yes, I will, for as long as I need to. That doesn't mean it's gonna be spoiled. It's still gonna get like everything done. And who knows, it might like hijack a really cheap body for a while. And that's the thing, I don't want to spend more than like $150 on a body. I don't see anything wrong with the cheaper bodies. It's just that most of the body types that I like are like, even at the SD size, are like all of the aesthetic that I just talked about. They're all expensive. And once again, that's good. I don't want artists to be charging less than they're worth. But it is what it is. And I'm literally about to be a half hour. So I'm going to say bye. I'll talk to y'all later.